gonna draw people to you every time. Like if you're one of those people, it don't matter how hard it get, you figure it out. You just won't be secondary.
Life just hit me, and that's what happened.
Before Lil Uzi would have his money longer and be able to do what he wants, like rocking a new Patek on his wrist, and before he lived life on the Weeknd's EXO tour. Before Lil Uzi would transcend the SoundCloud era of rap to become one of the biggest stars in music, selling out shows around the country and jumping into the mainstream music scene. Like before he would have over 5 million Twitter followers, over 8 million followers on Instagram, and more than 5 million subscribers on YouTube at the time of this recording. And before Uzi devastated his diehard fan base by announcing his retirement from the rap game.
I can say anything.
Okay.
Anything I say, I can say anything. I can say anything, and anything I say, they gonna believe it.
Okay, so we all pretty much know that Uzi's retirement won't last very long. It probably has a lot to do with label troubles, it could be for promotion, and after watching all of his old interviews, I personally think he just needs a break from the media and the crazy lifestyle that he has. Uzi claims to have close to 3,000 unreleased songs, and in a recent interview, Don Cannon says he makes 700 songs a year, so there's no shortage of Uzi music for him to release, but recently he announced that he has retired from music altogether. The retirement move isn't new in hip-hop. In fact, some of the biggest artists ever have claimed to be retiring, from Eminem to Jay-Z, and while most of them end up returning to what they love, just in case we never hear from Uzi again musically and Eternal Atake never drops, we thought we should take a look back at how Lil Uzi Vert became one of rap's biggest superstars. Ironically, Uzi started rapping for attention in high school, but now that same attention that he once craved is the thing he hates most.
It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I ain't running from nothing. It is what it is. I'm gonna be here, but I don't like being famous.
What's going on, good people in the comment section? My name is Jeremy Hecht. I hope you're having one heck of a day. And today I'll be taking you through the life and career of Lil Uzi prior to retirement. If you're new here, I'm the LA host for this channel, and somebody commented on my last video saying, I really am getting better with every video, so I won't make this one an exception. Be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know how I did and who to cover next. I'll try to reply to as many people as possible within the first couple of hours. We've also done other updated versions of bios for ASAP and Ski Mask, so be sure to check those out after you finish watching this video. But without any more talking, I'm gonna shoulder lean in honor of Uzi into the intro.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
So if it's unidentified, what does that mean? I pulled up in a UFO, so that means I'm an alien. That's all I can say. And if you don't believe me, that's on you.
And that UFO landed in North Philadelphia on July 31st, 1994, and it was there that Lil Uzi Vert was born as Samir Woods. Growing up in the Francisville neighborhood, his parents were separated from a young age, and Uzi bounced between his mother and father's homes. He said that his neighborhood was rough, but it became a regular part of his life. Plus, he was pretty introverted, hanging out in his house a lot, so for the most part, the kid stayed out of trouble. As a kid, he loved playing video games, especially Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, and watched cartoons like Franklin, Rugrats, and Cat Dog, later falling in love with anime. Uzi skateboarded a little bit after his friend Elijah put him onto it, and when he was 12, his dad got him and his brother a four-wheeler. His little brother crashed it, but he ended up being alright. Uzi grew up listening to Mike Jones, Bow Wow, and the Yin Yang Twins before getting into Meek Mill and Wiz Khalifa, who he cited as his favorite rapper. The two are now actually good friends, which is pretty cool. The first album he ever owned was a Mike Jones CD, and his grandma later bought him Wanted by Bow Wow. It was also one of my first albums, it was a classic. Uzi repaid his grandmother by buying her a house once he had real money and success. But if you've ever seen an Uzi interview, you know the dude considers himself a rock star, so he had to have some rock influences, like early 2000s emo bands My Chemical Romance, Paramore, the All-American Rejects, and he cites G.G. Allin as a big inspiration. Now, if you're not sure who G.G. Allin is, well, he's infamous for doing crazy things on stage like pooping on stage, and then taking the poop and smearing it all over himself, all in the name of rock and roll. Sorry, I just threw up a little, but gotta hand it to the man. He was unique. Haven't seen anyone do that since. But Uzi's biggest early influence is Marilyn Manson. One day he was watching Celebrity Deathmatch, and on the episode, it was Marilyn Manson versus Ricky Martin. From there, he went online, he was like, who is this dude? So he spent all day downloading everything he could about the singer and doing his own research. From there, he fell in love with Manson's image and music. I'm not gonna lie, I would have cheered for Ricky Martin in that matchup. Livin' La Vida Loca was a classic, don't you hate out there?
My father, the Pale Emperor.
He is?
Listen here. At age 27, I will leave this earth for this man right here.
Uzi would even get teased at school for listening to Manson.
He wasn't no superstar in my neighborhood.
And although he wasn't in a rock band, he did play the cornet and trumpet in his high school band, citing Hot Cross Buns as the first song he ever learned. It was originally for extra credit to help out his grades, but
then like it ain't work out my grades.
putting down his trumpet, he later started listening to A$AP Pharrell and Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreak.
It made me want to be like, I wasn't sad because I was young, but it made me want to, I felt.
Be sad.
You wanted to feel that.
Yeah.
In school, a young Uzi was a bit of an outsider, considered himself a class clown, and he loved attention. We'll come back to that. He always had a different sense of style than his peers and started dyeing his hair in the 10th grade, continuing ever since. In high school, he even had grills. But around 2012, in his senior year of high school, Uzi found his calling. His friend William Aston put out a freestyle over Chris Brown's Look at Me Now, and the whole school went crazy for it. He had all the attention, all the girls, and William was basically running the school. Now Uzi admits that he liked attention back in the day, and he couldn't let his boy get all of that without at least getting a piece. So Uzi told William that he rapped too, even though Uzi had never thought about rapping at all up until that moment. Will said, all right, then spit me something. Uzi pushed it off for a few days while he worked on writing his bars, but finally, he wrote a verse and rapped it for William, who told him to keep going. He invited Uzi to the studio one day, and after laying down some vocals, the two began rapping together. His first rap name was actually Steaktown Vertical, as part of the Steaktown crew with William. The vertical part was in reference to vertical jumps because he felt like he was going straight to the top, so people would call him Vert for short. And as referenced in that Rolling Loud stage dive from earlier, the man isn't afraid to jump from extremely high heights. But he said a random old head heard him spitting super fast and actually created the rest of his rap name.
A machine gun fast, like a little Uzi or something.
Oh, okay, you didn't know to do?
So, Lil Uzi Vert had a new name and began posting his songs onto SoundCloud. At the time, barely anyone would listen.
100 people was listening. I felt amazing. Like, how does 100 people know who I am?
But then, his song went from 150 plays to 1,000. And from 1,000 to 3,000. Him and his friends thought it was crazy at the time. He would find beats on YouTube and record freestyles over them, post them on SoundCloud and see where it went. But while his music was getting better and his plays were slowly climbing, he could never really keep his grades up in school and continued to get into trouble. He moved around to 4 different high schools. Uzi was getting into so much trouble that his mom threatened to kick him out of the house at one point. But when Uzi went back to his high school after fame, I think now his mom would consider him a success. Uzi believed in himself so much, and he knew that his music would be heard by the right people. And it was. He and William caught the attention of DJ Buzzworthy, who offered to manage the duo. Although William said no, Uzi agreed to terms and had himself a new manager. Buzzworthy introduced Uzi to Charlie Heat, who produced the 2014 track, Uzi. And that is the song that made it into the hands of Philly radio station Power 99's DJ Diamond Cuts. Uzi's old manager was Diamond Cuts' fiance and sent her the track. She liked it so much that she played the song on the radio in Philly, and in a crazy moment of fate, mixtape legend Don Cannon just happened to be in town, just so happened to be riding in his car, and just so happened to be listening to the radio, and Uzi's song just so happened to be playing back to back. Man, those are moments where I have no words other than fate. Just a moment of divine intervention.
He heard them playing my song on the radio, and he called the radio station and asked them for my number and hit me up.
Don called Uzi, and shortly afterwards, he came all the way out to Philly. They connected and have been working together ever since. The late A$AP Yams was another person who reached out to Uzi before his mainstream buzz. He tweeted at him and told him he would be a star. They would talk on the phone all the time about music and life, and from there, he became cool with the entire A$AP mob. RIP to Yams, man, he seemed like such a great guy. In 2014, Uzi also started dating stylist, designer, and artist Brittany Bird. Everything in Uzi's life seemed to be the best it had been yet, but Uzi's mom still didn't think pursuing a rap career was the best move and told him he had to find a real job. In order to make her happy, he got a job working as a stock boy at Bottom Dollar, but Uzi quit after just 3 days, and you can bet your bottom dollar that his mom wasn't very happy about that.
That he about to become a rapper? Like, she ain't believe it.
He was then kicked out of his mom's house and ended up living with his grandma in her small nursing home apartment. His grandma was a real one though and actually believed that Uzi could make it in rap. She let him stay there while he worked on his mixtape. Don Cannon and DJ Drama also had a lot of faith in the kid from Philly, so they brought him out to Atlanta to record. His big break was when Uzi had a standout feature on DJ Carnage's single, What Do You Want, WDYW, in 2015 with A$AP Ferg and Rich the Kid. Ironic that one of his first big songs was rapping next to Rich the Kid. In 2019, that collab might look a little bit different. And actually, instead of signing to Rich the Kid's label, Uzi signed to Generation Now and later Atlantic Records, and his name began ringing bells within the industry. Uzi put out the project Love Is Rage, which garnered him even more buzz. And the LUV in the project also stands for Lil Uzi Vert, which, when I found out, confirmed that Uzi is a genius. He kept releasing heat, putting out Lil Uzi Vert to the world, and things started to move pretty fast from there. He became a XXL freshman and started collabing with some of the biggest artists in the game.
Hey, what's up? It's Lil Uzi Vert, and I'm 2016 XXL freshman.
You've all heard of Candy Pens, right? Well, if the name doesn't ring a bell, I got a good feeling you've seen them before. Now, Candy Pens was named Best Vaporizer of 2018 by High Times due to its combination of popular technology and flashy design. And Candy Pens, well, they've quickly become the go-to choice for vaping in the hip-hop and rap community. They've got some co-signs from DJ Khaled, Fatboy SSE, Young M.A., and Amber Rose. Even the one and only A$AP Rocky, yeah, he's got his own signature line called the Flacco Jody Collection. Now, Candy Pens has actually made me their YouTube ambassador, the one and only, and they've given me the ability to get you 25% off your entire order. Yeah, there's a link down below. Also use the promo code BTWF25, get some money back, enjoy your vaping. Remember, Candy Pens are for those 18 years and older.
In 2016, Lil Uzi and Britney broke up, unfortunately, and we got to see what heartbroken Uzi looked like. He released the Perfect Love tape that year with songs like Do What I Want and Erase Your Social, which is still one of my favorites after all that time. After the song got a shout out from Donald Glover at the Golden Globe Awards, Lil Uzi was part of his first #1 song as part of Migos' Bad and Bougie. He also made a full collab project with Gucci Mane, 1017 vs. the World, and apparently the two made the whole thing in just 2 days total. Uzi says that's his favorite mixtape so far. He went on tour with The Weeknd for the European leg of his Starboy tour, and while in London on tour, he previewed the song about his breakup with Britney, and when he released it, he named it EXO Tour Life in homage to The Weeknd's EXO brand.
He just showed me like just the way he moved. That's what I like about Abel, the lifestyle. He ain't trying.
He keeps a close team too.
He ain't trying.
The song had a slow build-up over the next year, but it blew up to new heights that even Uzi himself couldn't have imagined. If you didn't listen to the song on your own or on the radio, then it was in your favorite meme. It was somewhere. The song was inescapable. It went 7 times platinum in the US and won Song of the Summer at the MTV VMAs. He followed that up with Love Is Rage 2, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 hip hop and R&B charts. I still bump How to Talk and The Way Life Goes all the time. Uzi took over the game and was considered to be one of the best new artists out. Even old school hip hop fans admitted that Uzi had a lot of talent. And after teasing snippets for basically the whole year, everyone waited patiently for Uzi's next album, Eternal Atake. But in January of 2018, Uzi made a shocking announcement. In an Instagram story, Lil Uzi announced that he was retiring from music, stating, "I'm done with music. I deleted everything. I want to be normal. I want to wake up in 2013. Thank you. Love you." Although artists troll all the time, the way he worded things definitely signaled that something was wrong. If we look at his timeline, Uzi would have just started rapping and building his music career in 2013. Maybe he was saying that he wanted to go back to a time before music and before it was his life. Either way, it was a little concerning for fans, even the more skeptical ones like myself. Since that post though, fans have seen glimpses of hope, with Uzi popping up in Meek Mill's latest show in Philly to perform EXO Tour Life, and releasing some snippets online from Eternal Atake, which allegedly still exists on Uzi's computer somewhere. Will fans ever receive the mythical album, or will Uzi remain retired forever and chill on a beach with his hard drive full of hits that we'll never hear?
What's next for you?
Waking up, eat some Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts might be the greatest American invention ever, so Uzi, I feel you, but come on bro, we also want that album. Anyways, Uzi, if you're watching this, I hope you find peace within and sort things out externally with your label. This is your life to live, and we as fans want you to do things on your own time and your own terms, but whenever you're ready to hop out of retirement, just know that we will be ready to listen. But as for the rest of the story, well, we'll have to wait and see, because this is before they were retired. My name's Jeremy Hecht. Thank you guys for watching. This has been so fun. Every video I enjoy so much, so I'm excited to make more for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below who I should cover next. And if no one's told you yet today, I love you. Dream good, live better. I hope you have one heck of a day, and I'll see you in another video.